Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We've got the timer on. I'm feeling great. I got a little cup of Java. I like to get my coffee from Amazon. I don't like to get my coffee from Amazon. I don't like to get anything from Amazon. And I looked at my Amazon purchase list from before quarantine, and I think in a year I bought like 10 things. Post-quarantine, I'm buying 10 things a month on average. I'm keeping Amazon alive. And I normally like to go into a store. I like to walk into a brick and mortar. I like to order a cup of coffee, even though it can get a little expensive. I don't like to do that every day, but I do like to patronize, if I'm saying that right, a store or a coffee shop. But now I have reduced myself to buying coffee on Amazon, and I feel like a scam. I feel like a freaking scam. I feel like a phony, but it is good coffee. It's got me jacked up today. Ready to roll. If you're wondering what's on my lips, not a sponsor. It's a Instagram product, which have never gone well for me, honestly. Every time I've bought something on Instagram, I end up returning it. But this one's actually not too bad. It's a Silk Slip Tinted Lip Oil. I feel like I just got Me Too'd by my lip gloss. Versed. It's delicious. I do enjoy it. So the ladies who always ask, what do you have on your lips? That's what I have on my lips today. As you guys know, I like to apply while I'm working. I do it while I'm on stage. I like to just reapply my lip gloss to let you know I'm serious about business. I have a little Maybay's mail that I meant to mention last week.
You've got
from
mail.
Our girl, Unicorn Jess, an OG fan. I'm very Sicilian today. I'm just grabbing the air a lot. Jessica Richards on IG. When I referenced the movie when I was talking about, my mother liking wine and wine time being all the time, and I thought it was Monster-in-Law. I stand corrected. Jess Richards says Spanglish is the movie with the wine where the clock ticks from 11:59 to noon. No shit, I think about this scene 3 times a week. Love it. So shout out to Jessica, Unicorn Jess, for correcting me. I like to be corrected. So if you guys have any information where I spoke incorrectly, right there, you can email me about that. When I used a word incorrectly, or if there's a tidbit of information I'm missing, please email me, Jessimae Peluso, comedy@gmail.com, because I like to correct people. So, if you can't take it, you shouldn't dish it. You don't dish it if you can't take it. There's a dish you should do something with. Help me out. And thank you for Jess for correcting me. I appreciate you. So this week, there's a lot going on in my personal life, mainly with my dogs. Having dogs is a great decision. Having 3 is mental. And I didn't choose to have 3. I was forced to have 3. I don't know if you guys know the story of my dog collection, who I very, very lovingly refer to as my Motley Crew, kind of like Motley Crue, even though I wasn't a fan of Motley Crue whatsoever. Could care less. No hate on them. That was just not for me. But I call my dogs my Motley Crew. I had 2, and I've always kind of had 2. I take that back. I did have 3 years ago. I'm like just bold-faced lying. I had 3 dogs years ago. I love critters. I love creatures that don't speak, but they say everything that needs to be said. And there's something about having a dog in your life. There's cat people, there's dog people, and then there's demons who don't have anything. Then there's like people who have those weird creatures that you don't even know. You're like, is that legal? They're like, it's a sugar flyer. A what? There's a flying squirrel in your house? Is that safe? And can I have some? I would love to have a squirrel just flying around. It's adorable. It's the cutest little thing, and it flies? That doesn't seem right. Then there's people who have like lizards. I don't know about you folks. These people on social media, like these guys that are snuggling iguanas. Ruh-roh. Stranger danger. I'm going to check your Instagram history and your search history because I don't know if that's normal. Am I judging? Yes. Absolutely judging so hard. I think judging is completely normal. People who have like there's those dragons. They're like mini dragons, Komodo dragons. Why do you have one in the house? People have boa constrictors and babies in the same house. You're not lifing right. You're doing it just get a cat. And that I don't even trust. And I come from a family of people who always had animals around. My aunt had 4 cats, 3 ferrets. She had a couple birds. It was a freaking zoo in that house. God rest her soul, she was the craziest family member we had. So much fun, very erratic, but also extremely artistic. Maybe there's a little bit of her in me. I say all that to say that my dogs are costing a little bit of stress and money lately. Carlin's got a growth on his jaw. And then the vet's like, well, we could do a full body scan to see if it's appeared other places. Carlin's 13 years old. I'm not telling you what to do with your dogs, but if you have a few dogs like I do, you kind of have to be somewhat strategic. Look at the timeline. Carlin's probably got like 3-4 more years left. What am I going to scan his body and then blast a bunch of drugs through his body? I don't think it's worth it. We're going to get rid of the growth. I'm not even going to send it off. Not even going to do a biopsy. They opened up the bump and they found my twin, a set of teeth. If you know the reference, you know the reference. My big fat Greek sweating. It's a fun movie. And I don't want to know what's inside of Carlin's biopsy. I don't think he wants to know because then that information's out there. So that happened yesterday. I had to take him to the vet. And the vet's like, you should do all these tests. We have to see if the cancer's spread. I'm like, is it even cancer yet? It's not cancer yet. Why are we just assuming everything's cancerous? So I'm not going to do it. I'm opting out. I get home from the vet. I'm out with the kids in the yard. Chippy, who's my little party starter. He's a 4-pound chihuahua with 145 pounds of energy. And he jumps down from the backyard and he just looks like Ed from 90 Day Fiance now. Cause he kind of like snapped his neck down and now he walks around the house like this. He's like, and I'm like, it's giving Ed from 90 Day. And I don't know what to do with you now. So I had some leftover drugs. A little bit of insider info for those pet parents. Keep the drugs. Don't throw them out. There's no expiration date. They'll be fine. I got some painkillers for Chaplin from 2017. You better believe I pumped him in some peanut butter this morning. Gave him a couple extra pumps for good measure. He's passed out on a heating pad right now. I don't even know if he's breathing. So everything's going great on the Peluso home front. That's all I want to say. That's it. I also wanted to talk about an article I meant to read during my mother's episode. And my mother always used to tell me to have good posture. And it's like this ideology that's from back in the day, because I think bad posture was associated with bad health. And this article coincidentally just popped up when I was thinking and doing a little bit of collecting for my mother's episode. And then I completely forgot to mention it. I think because we spoke about so many different things. But in this article, they go on to say how slouching was considered to be a sign of decay. In the early 20th century, posture leagues came around and started to measure people's posture. Posture leagues. There were leagues of people who would measure people's posture. I've heard of Math League. I think Posture League goes to be the top nerd league I've ever heard of all time. A posture league? Is that even a real science? So you're spending your whole time studying how people stand upright? And then there were some scandals with the Posture League. So I did some digging. Okay. So basically industrialists created like these posture enhancing chairs. And meanwhile, people are in the streets dying of like rickets, sickle cell, tuberculosis. And they're like, we need to cure the posture because it makes us look like idiots. They're not even worried about people who are literally dying of famine. Children are starving in the streets. They're like, let's make a new chair for Gary because he's got osteoporosis. Scoliosis Sarah needs a new stand. Don't worry about the kids that are starving in the streets. This woman in this article wrote a book about posture, and I think she needs a little bit of help with PR because basically she said that it's all fake news. In this article, she's like, basically posture is fake news. That's what it says in my book. I want to be like, homegirl, maybe leave that out so that you can entice some people to buy your book. Now your book sales are going to have bad posture because you just blew your load in that one sentence. There was a bunch of different things in this article that was interesting, but they said that President John F. Kennedy had chronic back pain. Oh God. What? Chronic back pain? Ruh-roh. President John F. Kennedy had chronic back pain and his own posture was bad. He even had a posture guru. And then I thought, well, that's probably from all the banging he did. He wasn't necessarily a very faithful husband. I think he might have been a faithful president, but I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that all that back pain was from all the banging he was doing. That's my little tidbit on that information. Okay, but then there was a scandal. There's a scandal with these posture league individuals because they had to do research and they had to like study people's posture. And the way they did that was taking photographs. They took photographs. And so basically it turns out that this was a program that ended up being shut down because of these photographs that were taken. And they were taking naked pictures of people to test out their posture. And so the New York Times had this article that reported that Ivy League schools took nude photos of undergraduates to check their posture, and these pictures still existed in the Smithsonian archives. And the journalist says, my own research has shown that the posture photography happened not just at elite universities, but at colleges, hospitals, and prisons across the country. The practice of taking nude photos largely came to an end in the early 1970s because of concerns about proprietary and personal privacy. So these people are just out there just saying that they're in a posture league, having people come into their office and taking their clothes off so they can see if your spine is crooked. Where can I apply for the college? That's just what I want to know. Let's get into some fun articles here. A lot of people are doing dumb things. There's this woman who was on a beach in Baja, California, and did the dumbest thing you could ever imagine. Distressing moment when a wild bull attacks a tourist in front of onlookers on popular Mexico beach. First of all, why are we just assuming that this wasn't her emotional support bull? She goes up to it with a bowl of food. Who feeds a bull? I'm not feeding anything with horns. Let me say first and foremost, if it has fucking horns, I'm not feeding it. There's no way. And this is, like, I think about this article and this woman who just gets annihilated by this bull's horns. And I thought, this is the only way where weed could be dangerous. This is the only way where edibles might be considered dangerous, because you just take a bunch of edibles and then you look over and there's a bull on the beach. You better believe I want to feed it. When I get high, I want to feed everything. So this woman probably popped an edible in Baja, California, saw a bull and thought that she entered a different realm. It was like, that bull looks hungry. Who wants to feed the bull? I'd be like, yeah, heck yeah. Flat palm. Like they teach you with horses. I'd just go over and flat palm that baby. Should I feed a bull? It's the only way weed could kill you, is if you took an edible and tried to feed a bull. Maybe they should call it edible. This lady's just stoned. Man, he looks hungry. Guys, doesn't that bull look hungry? Who wants to help me feed it? No, absolutely not, Stacy. Stay on the towel. She goes over with, I don't know what she brought to the beach. What'd she bring? Like a kale salad? She had bags of stuff. It looked like the worst snacks. That's probably why the bull was pissed. Probably was like, what is this? What are you giving me? Hot Cheetos? I'm a vegan. Like, have some respect. Do you have any better options? The bull was probably pissed because of what she gave her. Maybe the bull was hangry. I'm the same way. If you give me bad snacks, I'm going to punt you. This lady was probably on an edible. She found a bowl and a bowl of food and tried to feed the bull. And then she got punted. Nature 1, humans 0. That's Darwinism on the beach in Mexico. I hope she's okay. But I mean, if you mess around with my food, I'm going to punt you. I don't care if you're in front of your friends. Bring some good snacks next time. On a different plane, literally a different plane, there was just things that keep happening in travel that are dangerous, scary, makes you not want to leave the house, makes you realize that people who have jobs that require safety measures are struggling, and it makes me not want to travel at all. So on TMZ, there was this news article that said a airline worker plummeted several feet out of the plane because the coworkers moved the ladder. And this reminds me of like when you're in high school and you go to sit down and the jerk behind you pulls out your seat and you slam on your tailbone and it shots. He like slams you down, you fall right on your tailbone, and that pain shoots through your root chakra, through your crown chakra. It goes right from your root chakra through all your chakras. It's a chakra shattering pain that goes from your bunghole, your L2, out your pineal gland and through your crown chakra. That's what this reminded me of. It says a ground staff member at the Jakarta airport That's a mouthful. A ground staff member at the Jakarta airport in Indonesia is seen falling hard on the tarmac in this wild video making rounds online, not realizing his fellow employees had moved the mobile ladder away. What is going on? Again, is everyone stoned at the airport? Jakarta is my favorite filter on Instagram, by the way. That's the only way I learn about other cities in the world, are all the Instagram filters on the IG story. Big shout out to Paris. Can't wait to visit. Your airport is horrible. But my favorite thing is when this guy falls and the papers go everywhere. It looked like an SNL skit. The papers go flying, and it reminded me of that scene in Beetlejuice with the flat guy going around passing off all the mail to everyone's desk. That's what this reminded me of. This guy flies out the side of the plane, and it looks like it was like cue papers, and all the papers went flying. Local reports say the man suffered injuries. I would assume so, but none are said to be life-threatening. Authorities are reportedly investigating the incident. Investigating? What's there to investigate? But maybe we do need AI. Maybe we need AI to do these jobs because there's way too much human error lately. Maybe we need AI to do it all. And I'm one who's anti-AI, but right now I'm anti-human because I'm not getting on a plane. I'm certainly not getting on a plane like this because you know you're a bad airline when you make Spirit Airlines look safer than you. Not flying Jakarta Air anytime soon. Fungool. It's live out in the world. There's a lot going on. Peeping Toms are everywhere. And let me tell you, they don't call him Peeping Tanyas for a reason. Hidden camera discovered in public bathroom of Southern California chiropractic clinic. Ill is all I have to say. No suspects have been arrested as the case remains under investigation. There's a lot of under investigation. And why is that? We need to investigate. By the way, not much investigation needs to happen. One question, is the owner a man? Problem solved, case closed. He's a pervert. He's a peeping Tom. There's no peeping Tanyas. That's not the way it goes. There's no creepy aunts. It's creepy uncle. I'm not the one who wrote history. This is the way it is. You guys are gross. Have you checked the boss, if he's a natural born man? And even on the other side of all of that, doesn't matter. If he's a man, he's probably peeping. And they had the camera set up in the cabinet that was across from the toilet. It's so gross. It's so gross. It's disgusting. And it makes me sad. I Googled peeping Tom laws, and it's not peeping Tanya. So basically they get 6 months in a county jail and a fine up to $1,000 for each violation. So basically, if you're rich, you can have a hobby. You can have a hobby. You can have priors. You just have to pay to play. Why not just treat these guys the way coffee shops treat repeat customers? Because it sounds like all these guys have to do is keep buying violations to peep on people because it's considered a misdemeanor. They don't even really spend any real time in jail. So just 6 months and $1,000. And then if the guy has a prior, then they have penalties that will increase up to 1 year in a county jail and a fine up to $2,000. Look, if you're a freak, you're going to find a way to make it work. Let's treat it like a coffee shop. Give them a stamp card. Give them a repeat fender a card. You peep 9 times, the 10th peep is on us. Come on through to Peeping Tom's coffee shop. See, now we have to check all the corners. See, we look crazy because you guys keep snooping on us. We're crazy going through everything because there's cameras everywhere. We can't even stay in an Airbnb anymore because you guys want to see all of our holes at all times. I think we need to unplug everything, including everyone that's on a life support. Let's just unplug everybody and everything. We're too connected and disconnected because of this overly connected technological world that we're in. This is insane. It's just gross. Let's get to some more fun news. Bennifer's in the news, and it's not about Dunkin' Donuts. People are obsessed with Ben Affleck and Jennifer J-Lo Lopez in their relationship, and I don't know why. It's weird that we're keeping tabs on their comings and goings. Who cares? She's nuts, and he's addicted to toxicity. I don't know if I'm right. I could be wrong. They could be extremely in love and they're just sitting back laughing at everyone talking about them. But the most important part about all this, because this article is basically about, is J-Lo and Ben Affleck, are they fighting? He's coming from her house. He's not staying at her house. He bought another house. She bought another house. They're rich. What are they going to do with their money? Of course, they're going to buy multiple houses. And let's talk about how the fact that their mansion looks like something from the movie Get Out. Like, maybe Ben Affleck is actually dead and Mark Antony's consciousness is inside of Ben Affleck trying to achieve immortality. Maybe J-Lo's keeping Mark Antony's spirit alive inside of Ben Affleck. I know Mark Antony isn't dead, but maybe that was the only way that J-Lo would go back with him as if he looked like Ben Affleck. I suspect a Get Out situation because the house is creepy. I would want to get out of that house. It's giving Get Out. But by the way, this is a normal relationship. You're just expected to stay in the same house with the same person forever? All day and all night? I need to get out. Do you know how annoying people are? You know how annoying your significant other gets? I think every marriage should start with 2 homes. And then if you want to like come over and have a sleepover, we can come over and have a sleepover. I want my own bed. I want my own house. We can move a little closer if we feel, but then we can go back and get our space. I think if we had 2 houses for every relationship and every marriage, the marriage rate would increase. And also the marital homicide rate would decrease. That's how we solve those problems. Let's just get 2 houses per marriage. Everyone survives, including the marriage, including the people. I'm out here solving problems. Meanwhile, while the streets of Venice are alive and burning, can you hear them in the background? People are on fire, cars are crashing, and no one's doing anything about it, including me. I got pulled over yesterday because I don't have proper plates, so I have to rush to the DMV to get my plates. That's what I get for getting my car from New York State. But you can take the girl out of Syracuse, but you can't take the girl out of Syracuse? I don't know what it is. It's one of those things. I miss home. And so I got my car from New York State and I got pulled over yesterday on the side of the highway. And I felt like a freaking criminal. He's like, where are your plates? And I'm like, what plates you talking about, buddy? And then he's like, your plates. I'm like, oh, yeah. I was on a toll road with no plates. Adulting is hard. The rules are constantly changing. And right now, I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to get on an airplane. I just want to be here with my dog with his lip amoeba and Chaplin with his Ed 90-day fiance spine and drink wine, smoke a little weed, and hang out in nature. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what you guys should do too. Love you.